Okay, welcome back, all our penny stock billionaires. We're going to do a quick chart chat. The market is very exciting. I truly apologize that I was not able to do this on Sunday. I had some internet connectivity issues, at the trailer park. The payphone with the dial-up wasn't working, so I was not able to do it. But the point of, I think, the live stream Sunday was the same theme today, which is it looks like the market has bottomed out. We are at I don't want to use the word generation. Well, it could be a generational buying opportunity because I think we're about to enter a new moon market, a little different than the one from 2020, but things are looking very good. But first, I have to run a very important disclaimer. Because I do not want anybody to think that we're giving advice. We're absolutely not giving advice. Every stock we talk about is very, very high risk. You could lose all your money. The micro caps we talk about here are paid clients of Octagon Media Corp. And what else can I tell you? Also, all language used here, you have to understand, this is for entertainment purposes only. When I say a stock is going to the moon, it's a volcano rocket. It is going to planet 100-bagger one-way trip. It's an exaggeration. I know some of you people are slightly retarded. You don't know that it's an exaggeration. It means the stock looks very good. So whatever I say, put a grain of salt on it. Although we've had massive winners. I mean, so I don't blame people for paying serious attention, because I don't think anybody in this sort of universe has brought investors more 10x plus TenBaggers, multi-baggers than Wall Street Reporter. Last 9 months, I keep look, if I don't say this, nobody's gonna, you have to obviously promote your success. But yeah, we've had 9 stocks that increased between 1,000 and 5,000% just in the last 9 months. We've had hundreds, literally hundreds of doubles, triples, even a bunch of many 10-baggers in the 25 plus years that Wall Street Reporter, the associated company, has been doing this. So we're looking now for the next 100-bagger. But first, let's talk about the big picture. Let me get my face off the screen so you can see the main idea here. Yes, here we go. Okay. What's going on with Nasdaq? This is the kind of thing I want to talk to you guys about on Sunday night. I'm glad you're here. By the way, this channel is only for penny stock billionaires. This is not for people who are high net worth investors. If you have, $1,000 in your account, you have 100, if you have $1 million, only official certified billionaires only should be watching this live stream, because we only talk about very high risk stocks. Now, what's going on with Nasdaq? This is the bellwether, right? Where Nasdaq go our penny stocks. It looks like we have bottomed out. I mean, things are still very, very scary. We've had 3 very good days. I'm sure next week, Tuesday, we'll probably have a bit of a pullback. People are in a good mood. Memorial Day is coming up. Here's what's going on. Here's what you want to look at. The MACD line has been crossed over, so it's looking pretty bullish. Things are looking really good here. You have kind of, you want to call it a double bottom happening here. Possibly, but let me just go to the short term. Actually, let me zoom out. I'm using this candlestick. I'm not a fan of the candlesticks, but okay. So what you've had is you've had a classic 30% retracement from the top. The 30% markdown. We were at what was the high? 16,000, and we got down to 30% off. There you go. It's basically 30% off. That's your classical correction. Bear market correction, whatever you want to call it. 30% is, that's your typical correction, pullback, bear market, what have you. Now, if you guys recall, I was expecting this to at least go to this minute, but really, I thought we might even overcorrect a little bit. So, I think I was looking at maybe 7,500, even lower in this kind of level. But it looks like we are just pulling back to right over here. I'll even draw you a little bit of a trend line to kind of give you an idea where we are at. So, we're basically in that zone. That's kind of your support zone. It might bounce around a little bit, might even come down, but I think this is it, 30%. If it breaks below, obviously we're going to go lower. But right now, I think we have it's basically a tradable rally. It's a tradable rally. Okay, so let's go into a couple of our big stocks, and then we're going to go into the penny stocks, which is where the real big, huge trillions of dollars can be made. By the way, if you're just watching this channel for the first time, make sure you click the like, subscribe button or whatever. And we're also on Telegram. We are on Discord. The links are in the video description below. Let me just make this. Now, here we go. Like this. Okay. Let's see. Wait, let me just. There we go. My computer's not set up right. Okay. Let's take a look at DKNG. This is one of the stocks I'm looking at as a bellwether. What's going on with DKNG? It looks like an inverse head and shoulders bottom happening here. I've been telling you guys about this stock for quite a while. I think I even did a TikTok video on this right around $10, $11. So it looks like this is moving up. Now, by the way, with the Nasdaq chart also, let me just give you a quick quick thing here. It's not. It looks like this is the bottom, but it's not official. It's not official until we break above the 50-day moving average. So the smart money would wait until the Nasdaq crosses above the 50-day moving average. We're not there yet. If you want to wait till that, you're going to leave. You're going to lose out on. You're going to leave a little money on the table, but it is the safer bet. Although, of course, we're not giving advice here. This is not advice. Nothing here on this channel is advice. These are all high-risk stocks. You could lose all your money. I'm sorry. Let me go back to DraftKings. Wait, I want to tell you guys, we have an incredible stock. I'm going to be telling you about an incredible penny stock, one of our favorite stocks right now, which is under 20 cents. And I think this could be a massive winner. Look, because it's a Canadian company, the Canadian regulations, the regulatory regime, it doesn't allow me to tell you how I truly feel about the stock. So I can't make price projections. I can't give price targets because, they're very, very conservative in Canada. It's a nanny state over there. So I can't tell you how I truly feel about this. But look, you can do the math. You can figure it out. I'm going to go to that stock in just a little bit. But first, DraftKings. Okay, so DraftKings, I think this is the generational bottom in DraftKings right here. I think we're looking at it right now. The smart money would be to wait until it crosses above the 50-day moving average, which is right around, I would say, $15. $15 is a good place. You have this big double bottom, and I think what's going to happen is over the next. My prediction is this new bull market. It's not going to be this crazy, spike back up parabolic. I don't think that's going to happen. I think we're going to see a nice just a nice steady climb back. We'll probably make new highs. Let's say on Nasdaq. It's going to take a while. It may not happen for maybe 6-9 months. And we'll continue upward up until, let's say, late 2023, late next year, because as we get closer to 2024, when the great Emperor Trump returns to be dictator for life, the market's going to be, still in this very kind of depressed mode. But once we get close to 2024, the return of Trump will mark the next mega generational bull market. But just like we saw with Obama, in 15, things that didn't really get cooking until people were confident that that was Obama's last year in office. So that's just the way it is now. So again, the market is forward looking. So we started dropping pretty hard earlier. This was 3 months ago. So the market's forward looking 6 months. So they're probably going to have an announcement. Okay, we're in a recession officially. That's going to probably come out, I don't know when, the next quarter, because if you have two back-to-back quarter. So, you have that recession is, but And it might actually continue for, you might have like this kind of lull, but the market has been beaten down, and a lot of the growth stocks, especially anything that's down 70%, 90%, I think that's going to be the stuff where money can be made. So, and that includes a lot of our penny stocks. Okay, DraftKings, again, I would wait till we're back above this 15 bucks. But again, this is a bellwether for, a lot of our key sectors. Very bullish. So wait till 15 bucks, but I think we're going to see a nice move. And look, you have the next level of real resistance in this stock is like in a $40 range. So it's a nice, it's a nice stock for, people who are looking for a speculative trade. How about Tdoc? Tdoc. Okay. Tdoc, I think we've probably seen the bottom. It's kind of, it's had this big gap, which is pretty nasty. Let's see how it manages to make the comeback. But I'm quite sure that the bottom in Tdoc has been made. Yeah, I'm quite sure. But it's going to be a slow comeback. It's going to be a very slow comeback. This is the weekly chart. Yeah, this is going to be a long road back, very long road back. But let me show you an interesting stock, which I think could be a big winner. Of course, this is paid content, not advice. I don't want to say anything that's over promotional. The stock is Aiml, artificial intelligence, machine learning. What does this company do? They're in the health tech wearable space. Why is this story exciting? Why do I think this could be a huge winner? I highly suggest you watch the recent video interview with the chairman, Tim Daniels, which is on the Wall Street Reporter channel. He talks about the business, but you know what got me really excited? Hang on a second. Let me tell you what got me really excited. Stand by. I just want to share I want to do a quick screen share with you. Let me show you something. I'm going to show you something that's going to blow your mind. Chrome tab. There we go. Okay. This is the wearables market. This is Grand View Research. I'm not making this up. It's Grand View Research, respect the company. Wearables, where are they now? 40 billion in 2020, 13% growth rate. Okay, blah, 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 blah. Okay. So Grand View Research is saying the wearables is going to be a $50 billion market, right? Who cares? What's really interesting is if you watch this video, it looks like, this is crazy. This is absolutely insane. It looks like Aiml may have a very broad patent, covering a big swath of the health-related wearables space. What does that mean? It means these companies that are in this $50 billion space, a lot of them could be infringing on the patent for Aiml. And the good news about that is that that could mean a lot of money for this stock. This company has a market cap of less than $10 billion. 10 million. So less than 10 million market cap. Hang on a second. Let me pull up. Let me go back to the screen share. Okay, let me go back to the share. Okay, let me tell you what is so compelling about this stock. Back to the bar chart. Yeah, I like this much better. Okay. By the way, it's a stock we introduced last year, and I think it was 40 cents back then. It tripled basically, went to $1.50. It might have been 50 cents. I don't know. I don't really care. Basically the stock tripled within a couple of days after we introduced it. Yeah, it was a hot market. And now that the company actually has something really compelling, has like real fundamentals, you're getting a bargain. You're getting a 90% off. This thing is 90% on sale. It's a 90% off sale. Watch the video with Tim Daniels. It looks like they have a patent, a very broad patent on the wearable space. And what validates this, what makes it very interesting is if you looked at their news release just a couple months ago, a company came to them voluntarily. This is voluntarily and said, "Hey, look, we want to patent this thing. Unfortunately, we see that you have the patent on this health wearable space. We want to license it. Here's a check. I think it's a 6-7 figure deal. It's a substantial deal. It's not a joke. That is the first one. I think you're going to have, and this is voluntary. This is voluntary licensing. What you're going to have, I think, at some point is some, litigation. And by the way, here's what you have to realize about this patent litigation space. There are specialized law firms in this area that take on cases on contingency. So, they know that these things could last a couple of years, but what happened, so the client does not lay out any cash up front if they're smart, right? So AIML does not have to lay out any money. They could either, the litigation firm will do it, again, on spec, they'll do it on contingency. They'll usually get a 20% to 30% payout of whatever they get, or they might even finance the litigation. There's like all these, low life financing companies that finance, ambulance chasers to, sue companies. So that could be a happen. So the positive, here's what I see as the positive fundamental case for AIML. The positive fundamental case for AIML is, hang on a second, the positive fundamental case for AIML is that, they got their wearables businesses starting to pick up. They got the tech to heal. They got that European mental health business. They got a bunch of other things that are really starting to they're in the early stages, but they're starting to pick up. I think we'll see some positive announcements, but you got this big lottery ticket with a high probability of getting some sort of payment. So let's do the math. Let's just do the math here. Wearables is a $40 billion market, right? 40 billion. Let's say only 10 billion of it, 25% of it is actually is infringing on AIML's patent, right? So 10 billion. So typical license fee might be 2% of gross revenues, right? So how much is that? That's 20. Wait. So 2% of $1 billion is 20 million, right? So you have $200 million in license fees. By the way, that's per year. So it'd be 2% of sales per year, right? I'm not saying this is going to happen. I'm just saying kind of it's a possibility, right? So if these companies are forced to license AIML's technology, you're talking about potentially 200 million. I know it sounds crazy, but why would this other company come to AIML and do this licensing deal? Here's what I suggest you do. I highly suggest you do not listen to what I'm telling you. Don't believe anything I'm telling you about this, because I know it sounds outrageous. Watch the video with Tim Daniels where he explains it. Look at the last news announcement where there was a licensing deal made for the IP. Read the press release. Do some serious due diligence on the patent. I hope we have some intelligent people here who understand patents, who understand intellectual property. Check it out, and then decide for yourself. Because look, it's not a sure thing. What I'm telling you is not a sure thing. We're talking about there's a percentage of likelihoods, possibilities, probabilities. What's the chance of AIML getting this, licensing through litigation or voluntary compliance? I think we got a pretty good shot of getting some of these guys to fall in line. Is it going to be 10 billion that they're going to cover? I don't know. Could be $1 billion. I think there's a pretty good chance. It's a very broad patent. So there's a very good chance that there could be some serious cash collected. And again, by the way, that's all pure profit. When you collect royalties on license, IP, and all that, it's pure profit. When it's net, I'm assuming if it goes through the law firm that sues these people, you got to give these ambulance chasers their share, but what you get is basically pure profit. So let's say 10 billion is infringing on AIML's wearables, right? That's $200 million a year in royalties, right? Let's say you do 5 years out, it's $1 billion. I mean, potentially we're looking at $1 billion plus, right? Again, the market is forward looking. The market is forward looking. So I think when people figure this out, I think the stock is going to move. I also got to tell you this. Yeah, we're doing the PR for this company. We're doing this promotion. I'm also an investor in the company. I bought into their last private placement, so I've put in 150 grand. I wrote a check for 150 grand into Aiml because I think it's a good shot. I think this thing has a pretty good shot of again, I can't make projections. I can't the Canadian regulations prevent me from saying how I really feel about the stock. I'm censored. The Canadians, the regulators are censoring me for the moment. So I am prohibited from telling you what I believe is the real full potential of the stock. But again, if I'm writing a check for 150 grand to a private placement to a deal, I'm not doing it from for a double. I'm looking for asymmetric gains. I'm looking for 10 to 1. That's me personally. I don't know about you, but personally, I'm looking to make 10 to 1 on my money when it comes to penny stocks. When it comes to blue chips, whatever. Penny stocks, I wouldn't go for anything less than a 10x upside. And as you can see, we've had a bunch of them. The philosophy works out. Is it going to work out in the future? I have no way of knowing. You got to make your own decision. Okay, let's go into. By the way, don't a few months from now, whatever it is, don't say how come I didn't tell you about these stocks, earlier or whatever. Don't tell me that. I know right now everybody's like, nobody wants to buy when things are cheap. Everybody wants to buy only when things are, already running and exploding. That's just human nature. Okay, so Tdoc looks very interesting. DraftKings. Let's take a look at Tesla, one of our other favorite bellwethers. Yeah, I wish I would have been able to tell you about this on Sunday, but actually, I think on Sunday I don't know if I would have been as bullish. But look, I think Tesla again, the Macy D line is about to cross over, so that is the #1 Illuminati buy signal, and that is very bullish. So short term, let me see 1 hour chart. Hey, it's actually okay. The short term, the buy signal the bat signal has been flashed. As you can see, we're above the 50 moving average, 50 hour in this case, which is pretty good. So last time we had a nice crossover, you had a run from you had a $200 run basically over here. You had a bunch of fake outs. You had fake out signals over here. 1, 2. You had a couple of fake outs. Is this a fake out? I don't think so. I mean, because it's already run a little more than the last two fake outs over here back at 10:30 and over here at 9:12. Those were fake signals. Let's do so let's back to the but if you really want to be a little more conservative, I would wait till it breaks above 800 over here. Once it's above 800, I think that's a number where people will look at this again. I have no axe to grind. I'm not an investor in this Tesla. I couldn't care less about Tesla, but that is looking very, very good. Tesla is looking pretty good. Let's take a look at ARK, Cathie Wood. Is Cathie Wood buying Aiml? She should if she's smart, but it's too small for her. It's a very small market cap. So ARK is actually, I think we have a tradable. Technically, it is still in a downtrend. There is no question that we're still in a downtrend. Is this a tradable bounce? The ARK does not look to me as good as DraftKings or Tesla, so it's kind of weird. Okay, so here we go. Here's the 4-hour chart. We're about to break out of the 4-hour chart, which could be a good tradable signal for all you low-life, degenerate, short-term day traders. This could be actually a pretty good signal here. Here we go. The 1 hour is looking good. So I think we got a tradable signal. I mean, probably the next level of resistance is kind of in this 55 to see. You might be able to scalp $10 out of this thing. Oh shit! I'm sorry. Oh, here we go. Here we go. The chart is back on the screen. I'm sorry. Here we go. Let me make the chart big. There we go. You don't want to see me. Oh, we're going to be talking about Nova in just a moment. Thank you, Dwight, for bringing that up. Thank you for bringing that up, Dwight. Yeah, so let me go first to talk about Cathie Woods. So ARK is, I think we've got a nice tradable bounce. Let's take a look at some of these other expensive penny stocks, RBLX. And again, by the way, these things, you know, what's the difference between Roblox and, I don't know, Nasdaq? Not much. I don't think so. I mean, these are all speculative things. So Roblox, I think we're at an, it's going to start to look, I think, like a head and shoulders bottom here. Again, $38 is the 50-day moving average. You kind of want to wait maybe till it breaks above that, because this thing is not as strong as DraftKings. It's not quite as strong. I would say DraftKings is the best looking setup of all these busted stocks. How about SoFi? SoFi is giving the bat signal right now. I don't even know what this company does. I think it's probably a scam. I'm convinced that SoFi is a scam. Otherwise, why else would they be sponsoring, you know, sports stadiums, all that stuff? But is it a tradable scam? I believe it is. I think this is like a good looking speculation right here. I think it's a good speculative opportunity for a nice pop. This could double pretty quickly. I don't know what they do. I know it's something with fintech. No, I know vaguely what they do. I think it's bullshit. But anyway, you had a very, very strong downtrend. I mean, brutal ski slope downtrend. And if it breaks out over here, if we close into, let's call it $8, $8.25. That could be the start of a new uptrend. That's what this chart is telling you. So SoFi is looking very bullish, very, very bullish. Let's take a look at NIO. This is the fake Tesla of China. Yeah, NIO is in a downtrend. It's kind of looks like it's trying to do, but maybe it's yeah, you know, look, I mean, I wouldn't short the stock right here. I wouldn't be short NIO, but it's not as strong as our other bellwethers. How about PDD? Actually, I own this dog. So PDD, we crossed above the 50-day moving average. So this is actually starting to look bullish. How about Baba? There's another dog with fleas. Baba, brutal downtrend. Could be making a bottom. Could be. PDD though, I think is the better. Because here you go. This is what I'm looking for. I'm looking for this type of action. You kind of have this inverse head and shoulders. You had a support level over here. So we're bouncing pretty much off an old support level in the $36 range. And, you know, there's your breakout above the 50-day moving average. So that is what I'm looking for. And we're starting to see it here. Okay, let's go to a couple of our massive volcano rocket penny stocks. What's going on with OG? You know, we're waiting for the news. I think it's not me. I think all investors are waiting for. They're waiting for news. There's two big announcements that everybody's waiting for. They're waiting for. I'll tell you what. I'll let you guys put in the thing here. What you feel are the two main catalysts. I'll let you fill in the blanks. Put in your comments here. The catalysts. We know what the two are. I'll let you fill those in. Let's make this an interactive session here. So, okay, let's look at our volcano rockets. By the way, when I use the word volcano rocket, moon rocket, it's not meant to be as over promotional. It is a term of speech used in social media in the context of social media chatter. It does not mean the stock is literally going to go to the moon where, what is it, where the NASA allegedly went to in the 60s. Allegedly, we don't know. It might have been a soundstage in Burbank, California. We don't know. Anyway, let's take a look at Nextech. By the way, I feel Nextech is going to be one of the massive, huge winners coming up. This is a stock, again, 90% on sale. Maybe it's a 95% sale here. 95% on sale. We got a massive double bottom happening, in my opinion. You got to decide for yourself what you think, but here we go. Where is it? Is it even lower? The chart has been beaten? It's been beaten up so much. It's hard to even look at this. Look at this. We are now pretty much, we've made a complete round trip to where the stock started out. Everybody was chasing this at the top. Everybody was chasing this at $2, $5. Now that we're at 46 cents Canadian, and this is Canadian money, it's not even real money. It's like 30 cents US. Now that we're back here, people are like, yeah. By the way, here's the big issue. The problem with the stock has been in the last, first of all, it got a little bit ahead of itself. You had all sorts of crazy stuff happen with the COVID. The same thing that happened with the Zoom, all the others. But that was the trade. That was the COVID trade. Anybody that got onto this trade back in March of 2020, May of 2020, that was the smart trade. This is speculation, ultimately, right? We're speculating here. This was basically the poor man's Zoom. That's what this is. Or it's how I position this as the way an investor should look at it. Not to be a pejorative term in any way of the company. Now, what they're doing now is they've gone back to their original business, which is the 3D model. So, look, this company, you got to watch the videos with the CEO, by the way, who I believe is, I've said this before, I've said this many, many times in the last 2 years, even when, we've had our ups and downs with the CEO. I believe, look, Evan Gappelberg is the best CEO in the microcap sector. This guy really is, here's the thing what you need to look at in this space. Here is a sign of a really good CEO. Is this guy capable of running a much larger company? That's kind of a sign of somebody who's really good. Can you see, for example, if you watch the interviews with Evan, could you see a guy like Evan Gappelberg, running a company like Roblox? Can you see him on CNBC talking about whatever the hell it is they're doing, or DraftKings? Absolutely. If you look at it, DraftKings, Roblox, Zoom, these other guys, this guy Evan could be right up there. Somebody who knows how to pivot, take advantage of opportunities, visionary. This is the guy. So I believe this stock is going to turn, and it's going to be a huge, huge winner in the next 12 to 18 months. It's going to take a while for this. It's not going to be a fast turn, I don't think. It's going to make a bounce, and then it's going to start moving. So here is the reason the stock has fallen apart in the last couple of months. They did a financing. And then, by the way, this is the opportunity. So they did a financing back in January with a fund that I just got the inside scoop on this weekend. I'm sorry, on a couple of days ago. I was at the H.C. Wainwright conference. So basically, H.C. Wainwright did a financing with these guys. They put a fund into this, which took down the whole, I think it was a $10 million raise. And these guys, it's the Armistice Fund. From my understanding, is that they made a massive, these guys had a small fund. It might have been like a $50, $100 million fund. And they had a huge, huge win, like $1 billion or more in a penny stock that turned into they were biotech guys. It became a COVID stock. It was like 100, literally it was 100 bagger. It was either huge. So these guys made a shit ton of money. And after that, they went completely nuts and just started throwing money into every kind of private placement out there. And, yeah, they took a couple of losses in the last 6 months. They've been losing money, so they're just dumping everything. And apparently, this is one of the stocks that's fallen victim to them, basically taking losses and everything else. I guess they're also, maybe they could be offsetting gains also, because if you have a capital gain of $1 billion, who cares if you lose a couple $100 million to reduce your capital gains, right? I don't know, why not? So that could be the case. So anyway, so I think they're pretty much done. They had a massive position in Nextech, which they've been liquidating, and I believe that is pretty much done, because if you look at the massive volume of the stock, it's been a huge volume in the last 2 weeks. I think this is the last capitulation here, and now the stock is actually running up. This is interesting. The stock is actually up today, and it's not getting dumped on. So I think those guys are out of it. I think they are out of it. I think they're out of it at this point. So this could be very, very positive. Again, you have this massive, massive double bottom from almost the early stage to where we are now. And look where the stock has been. The stock has been as high as $10. Can it go to $10 again? Look, I can't say that because, again, I don't want to make any statements that, that sound over promotional, and again, the rules in Canada, the regulators are not what they are in the US. They're much more conservative. So they're prohibiting me from telling you how I really feel about this stock. But our whole focus is looking for stocks which have that 10x to 100x upside potential, and we've had a whole bunch of them. Let's find out if Nextech could become another one of these. Is going to rejoin the pantheon of greatness. Could it rejoin the pantheon of great moon stocks? We'll find out. Again, the charts don't lie, and I always feel that stocks have a tendency to return to their previous highs because there's a certain psychology. It's a psychological thing. Investors, the market is not rational. We all know this, right? This is not like rational stuff. Anybody who looks at penny stocks through the lens of, accounting, rational financial analysis is going to be a complete loser. You got to look at these as like just a low-life degenerate speculator who looks at a stock like Calvin Ting. Calvin Ting is exactly the right mindset for success. That's why that kid, 22-year-old kid, turned $2,000 into $1 million or something in a couple months with some of our TenBaggers. How? Because he looks at a stock as not how he sees it, but hey, here's how other people could see this in the next couple of months. That's the key. So, and the way investors are is they look at a stock like this and they say, wow, this was a $10 stock. It could go back again. That's the thing. That's the thing you see happen. But in order for that to happen, in order for that type of thinking to start, we need to see Nextech start to make some more moves here. We need to see it break above the 50-day moving average. We need to see the FOMO happening. We're not there yet. It's not going to happen until we're above $1. I would say even $1.30. It really needs to be in this $1.30 range, $1.50 range, and we're far from there. We're far from there. So until we get into that range, we're still kind of in this purgatory. By the way, okay. So to answer your question, the news catalyst everybody's looking for with OG is we're waiting to hear about the co-packer. We're waiting to hear about the new store openings. I think that's what everybody's waiting for. That's why the stock is kind of in this trading range. So Nextech. I think Nextech is going to do very well. NTAR, OG, yes, and PHRX, so one of our other highly speculative monkeypox stocks. But I'm kidding. It's not a monkeypox. They could. I mean, they do have an antiviral. They have an antiviral that was originally developed for Ebola. So if it works for, I'm not a doctor. I don't know, whatever. But if something could be effective for Ebola potentially, Could it work for monkeypox? By the way, this monkeypox thing is just a fad. It's people already stopped talking about it, but there's going to be more and more of these viruses coming out there, so it's very bullish for pharma drug. And by the way, Michael Mahendra, I'm glad you're joining us today because pharma drug LMLLF-PHRX is about to flash the bat signal, the Illuminati bat signal. All the penny stock Illuminati are going to start buying, loading up, backing up the truck into pharma drug. Actually, let me back up on that statement. I don't want to say that because I don't want to make it sound over promotional. The MACD line, once this crosses over, this is a very bullish technical indicator, okay? Look at what happened the last time it crossed over. All you low-life degenerate day traders, look what happens. It crossed over, boom, we had a nice little pop. Again, nice little pop. This chart, this is actually a very tradable, chart. Even though it's a 4-cent stock, it's actually, whenever it's above the 50-day moving average, it's a buy. When it's below, it's a sell. So right now it's below it. So technically it's a sell, but the MACD is moving up. You might want to front run that. I don't know. We're kind of at this double bottom here. So and when it crosses over, you might have the big breakout. So again, I like this stock. I think this is one of these asymmetric setups. You got a lot of upside here, a lot of upside potential with this penny stock. By the way, let me look at Lucid. I'm just curious to see how that's doing. Yeah, Lucid is about to give the Illuminati bat signal right here. Inverse head and shoulders. It's interesting. A lot of these stocks, the Lucid, Sophie, DraftKings, they're all kind of looking very similar. It's pretty interesting. Pretty interesting. I think this is very constructive. It's a very constructive indication. And we're kind of at the bottom of this range. So, you know what? I think the market's looking really good for the next couple of months. I said this to you back in, I think, November, that I think the summer is going to be a massive rally. I think we're going to have a huge rally into the summer. All you lazy people who are going to be going on vacations, you're going to miss out on this rally. I don't know. I think they got some paperwork stuff related. This is my understanding. This is what I heard. So I wouldn't worry about it. Let's see here. Okay, so what are we looking at? I showed you Pharma Drug. Okay, now here comes Nova Mentis. This is one of my favorite penny stocks right now. We're at 9 cents Canadian, so it's about I don't know, what is that, 7 cents US, 6 cents US. I think this could be a huge winner. Why? Look at this chart. Now the Canadian regulations prevent me from telling you how I really feel about this stock, okay? I'm censored. In the US, we're a free country, so with US penny stocks, I can give you, my price targets. The Canadians are giving me a bit of a hard time. I'll tell you this much. I've wrote a check into their last private placement for 250 grand. I wouldn't do that unless I thought there was personally, I would think there's a huge upside. And when it comes to penny stocks, I'm looking for asymmetric setups. I'm looking for 10-to-1 or more payoff potential. Okay, that's what I'm looking for. That's my personal target. especially if it's a private placement. That means my money's tied up for 4 months or more. I don't want to double. I don't want to triple. I want something that's going to be a 10x, 20x, or more to compensate me for my risk. I'm looking for venture capital style returns. That's me personally. What you do with your money is your business. I'm not here to give advice. What I'm looking at with Mentis from a fundamental standpoint is this. They have a psilocybin-based therapeutic that is entering into phase 2A clinical trials in Canada in July. They're going to have data coming out very soon after that. You got a $10 million market cap. The way I look at it is if they get some good data, you could have a massive outsized thing because, phase 2 companies with this, psychedelic, psilocybin, whatever, neurological stuff, biotech could trade at huge numbers. I don't want to throw out any numbers, but you got to look at what's out there with biotech stocks. Just look at biotech stocks, phase 2 valuations. The way to analyze this is this. What's the size of addressable market? How big is the addressable market? In this case, it's billions of dollars. If you go beyond Fragile X into autism, into potentially Alzheimer's, other things for off-label expansion. So you have potentially $1 billion market. Novel therapeutic. We've seen biotech stocks trade at multiple $100 billion valuations in phase 2, and biotech right now is coming out of a massive bear market. Biotech index is been in a depressed thing, and we're coming out of it right now. This is it. This is the biotech index. I think there we are. It looks very similar. Here's what's interesting. Again, I was at the Wainwright conference last couple of days, and a lot of biotech companies. I mean, these guys finance all the biotech stocks. I didn't know this, but I heard something interesting. I didn't even realize this. Something like 20% of all biotechs right now are trading below their cash balance, below the cash on hand. So there's companies out there that have, 50 million in cash and they're trading at a 30 million market cap. The last time I saw something like that was at the bottom of the .com crash, 2002. And guess what? We're in 2022. History repeats. It's the same thing. It's happening again. The difference now is, I think, better because back then, there was a bunch of these fugazi.coms that all they had was a business model. They didn't have a real business. Now we have these .coms that are real businesses. They have revenues. It might have been overvalued based on the revenues. They might have been gone into the whole Kathy Woods land, but they're real companies. And then when it comes to biotech, you get some real biotech companies out there. So when it comes to Mentis, here's what I like about it. If you guys recall, here's what I like about what I'm looking for. I'm looking for stocks that are, number one, part of a big theme. So there's big tailwinds pushing them. So yeah, this is psilocybin, neurological autism therapeutic, and the biotech sector is about to turn. That is going to be very bullish, in my opinion, for biotech-related penny stocks. Mentis, NMLSF, Pharma Drug, PHRX, LMLLF. The biotech, I think that this thing is going to turn in the next probably 30 days. And so you're going to have bullish tailwinds coming up for these stocks. Right now, they've been in a vicious downtrend because of biotech. Biotech is down. The biotech index is down more than 50%. That's like a nuclear winter. By the way, look at this. I don't know if it's a triple bottom or whatever, but we're at the same levels. I mean, where these things have bounced from. We had a bounce from here, 2020. We had a bounce in 18. So basically, it's bounced from this level multiple times. So we're at a cyclical low in biotech. I believe we're at a cyclical low. And to me, the best way to play a cyclical low in biotech is, high beta, high beta, high alpha, whatever stocks, highly geared, penny stocks that are highly geared to biotech. And I think Mentis is one of those stocks, NOVA. By the way, for AIML, it's health tech sector. So our US marketing campaign is going to kick off next week. So I think we're going to be getting a lot of US investor eyeballs on this stock next week. Hey, who knows what happens? I mean, right now, not too many people are watching the stock because, they haven't really been promoting it for a number of months. But when they were promoting it, there was action. We'll see. Is that going to happen again? Let's find out. But our US marketing campaign will kick off. By the way, I just want to mention here, it's interesting. So Fans Unite, a former client, I mentioned this I think I put out a couple tweets. Now, by the way, I'm holding a bag here. I'm holding a bag from an option exercise. Unfortunately, I should have just blown out this thing if I was smart. But it was $2, and I thought, shit, this is going to go to $4. Let me hold on. So the smart move would have been but it was the momentum bull market, and I got a little bit greedy. I drank a little bit of the Kool-Aid. I partook in the Kool-Aid. So thank God I sold a little bit, to cover the option exercise. But I'm holding, I think I got 300,000 shares of this piece of shit, right? So they came out with some really good numbers today. I think they're doing, what are they doing? They're doing I forgot what the numbers are, but the numbers, what are the numbers in Fans? I think it's 5 million. I mean, they get some really good numbers. I mean, it was impressive. And I think we have a good shot to come back to at least $1 in this stock, at which point I will get out of it. I think this company, the problem with the stock, I think, quite frankly, they have a great story. Unfortunately, the management, these guys don't have that much capital markets experience, and they're getting really bad advice from, the people around them, these promoters, capital markets consultants that are giving them advice. It's terrible advice, and that's why the stock is kind of where it is. So otherwise, I mean, look, frankly, if they were promoting this thing properly, we could see a massive move, but they're not. So, but I think we'll still probably go back to $1 or whatever it is, and who knows what happens. But yeah, it's very interesting. DraftKings, of course, is the bellwether in the space. So that's when DraftKings starts moving, that's going to be very bullish for this. Let's take a look at Penn. Penn is looking pretty good. Let's look at Fubo, a former Next super stock. That's right. Fubo was a former Next super stock. It's a stock we introduced at $9 back in 2020. It ended up going to $60. Went up to the New York Stock Exchange. Now, when we had it, was called Face Bank. By the way, Fubo chart is looking pretty good. If you're a low-life degenerate, you might want to take a look at Fubo. I think this thing is actually, I think this Fubo has a really good, I think Fubo has a crazy upside potential here. And I hope they do well because, look, there was some, unfortunately, I had to sue these guys and we had to do a very significant settlement, which was very beneficial. It was, I get a very, very large settlement from our superstar celebrity lawyer, Robert Handman. Thank you, Robert, for the great work you did in getting this. So it was a massive material amount of money for me, for sure, for Robert, for sure, for his cut of it. But so I kind of feel bad because I think they kind of made some bad decisions because, anyway, there was no reason for this thing to have happened with the lawsuit and all that. So I kind of feel bad for them, but they basically breached the contract. So I had to do what was necessary. But anyway, I think this stock is going to do well. So I hope these guys do very well, because I like the CEO of this company. I think he's a really good guy. And I'd like them to do well. I might even buy some here, which would be kind of interesting. Might even buy some. I mean, this is like a really highly speculative stock at this point. But I think Fubo could be a high beta stock to profit from the big move. They're getting some numbers. This guy got out right at the top. There we go. Listen, I wish I would have blown all of it out of tooth. I mean, I really wish I would have, because that would have been the smart move. But the momentum was so strong. It looked. I mean, here's the crazy thing. I mean, if you look at how was Fubo doing in February of that? February of 21, Fubo. Oh yeah, that was kind of the peak also. Yeah. It really was the smart, because when these things go parabolic like that, you kind of want to get out of it. I just thought, shit, you know what? I think this thing is going to go to $4. And by the way, we still had I think a couple of months to run on our contract. So if I'm promoting a stock, I want to be involved in it. I don't want to be, like I'm not like an IR firm that just takes a check and promotes it. Like I want to have skin in the game, right? So, I held on to it. I shouldn't have held on to it. But it is what it is. You learn a lesson, and I think it's going to make a comeback. I think we'll probably get to about $1. But if these guys are smart, they would do some heavy promotion right here. So, yeah. Let's see, what else do we have looking good? So next week I think we're going to see some massive moves. Nova Mentis. I mean, this stock really wants to explode. If you look at this chart, I'm going to draw you a chart. Okay, I'm going to wrap up on this note here. I just want to draw you, because I think this is a very high potential play here. Green. So let me draw this. And I'd have drawn this before. So there's your, your triangle, your pennant, whatever you want to call this. It's been coiling in this thing, right? It's been coiling, okay? And then it wants to break out. Usually when these things break out, they move bigly, right? We're already above the 50-day moving average. So that is very positive. You got to understand this. We're above the 50 moving average. So it's in an uptrend. There's a bullish bias to this stock. There is strong fundamental news coming out. So when this thing breaks out of this range, by the way, guys, here's what I suggest you do, because look, the Canadian regulators are preventing, they're censoring me from telling you how I really feel about this stock. But I highly suggest you study WD-GAN, G-A-N-N, time price geometry, to understand how I look at stocks, because stocks it's a time price, it's a function, there's a geometry of how they move. So if you look at the previous highs, right, and if you look at the previous high in this chart, I mean, I don't need to tell you where the previous high was. You could look at the chart and see where the high was. You got to kind of do the math of, when stocks actually move, they move in a percentage in proportion to previous highs in the chart. Again, there's a lot of esoteric stuff. study WD gain, time price geometry, Fibonacci, all that stuff, so you have an understanding of the possibilities. Because if you would understand the technicals of this stock and also the fundamentals, you kind of would see the big picture. But I look, I put a bunch of money into the stock. I'm not just a paid prostitute promoter in this. I actually have substantial money tied up in this because I think this could be a big winner. And again, if I'm writing a check, I'm essentially a venture capital investor. I'm looking for 10x returns. I'm not buying anything. I'm not buying anything. I'm not buying any private placement unless I think stock has a legitimate shot of going up 10x or more. That is what I am in for. That's me. Okay, so let's wrap up on this note. I think next couple of weeks, I think it's going to be kind of quiet. There's the market, people are on vacation, all that stuff. So I'm trying to see who we can get. We might have a live stream coming up with. We got a couple of guys who might have some news next week, but it's been a little quiet. So hopefully people will have some substantial news to talk about. What else? We should see some pretty strong action coming up in the next couple of weeks. On that note, I want to thank you, everybody, and have a great weekend. Memorial Day in the U.S. and Canada. I don't know, whatever you guys celebrate. I mean, you're taking too many vacations as it is. And again, nothing here is a recommendation to buy or sell securities. Everything is very high risk, and all these stocks could go to zero. It's paid content. Let me know what you guys think. Make sure you join our Discord, our Telegram channel. All the links are in the video description below. Dino, thank you. But I'm sorry you guys missed the Sunday night. I had some technical issues with the dial-up connection, the 64K modem. But we'll be back. So I think I'll do another one of these chart chats mid next week. Right now, things are looking very good. Again, I'm looking for a pullback, maybe a little bit of a pullback on Tuesday, Wednesday next week. But right now, I think we're in a generational buy opportunity in the disruptive technology space. At least that's what the charts are telling you. But hey, it could be wrong. Could be wrong. You never know. All right. See you guys next time. Thank you very much.